Hey Gundam fans, welcome to another episode of Gundam Explained. Today we're looking at another Robot Spirits, and this is going to be the MS14Jg Gelgoog J Ver anime from 0080 War in the Pocket. This is a more recent release, so it has some nice engineering, and yeah, cat just jumped on my back. And it's actually very well done, and I'll actually jump into it. So yeah, let's take a closer look. Yeah, before we get started again, if you haven't subscribed, I'll be doing a giveaway, giving away 2 items. So go ahead and enter. There's a link in the description below. And like this video if you'd like to like it. That would be nice. I'd like it. But yeah, anyway, let's take a look at this. You know, I think this is a really cool design. It kind of takes that Gelgoog look from 0079, the 1 Year War. And while this takes place during the 1 Year War, 0080 is later in, I guess, the production of the Gundam series. And so they've kind of updated the Gelgoog a little bit. This is called the Jager, so it has some more interesting features to it. So, like, for instance, it's got that classic Gelgoog fin design, but a little more updated. It still has the mono eye. There you go, as you'd expect. And those interesting little shoulders, but a little more detailed. And I really like how it has kind of like little thruster pieces here. You know, very cool looking overall. And I think this is it. It first shows up, I believe, the second episode of 0080 when they're in space, when they're the Cyclops team is trying to get back into Side 6. They kind of have this battling out in space against the Earth Federation force. So really cool. Yeah, let me take off all the accessories. We'll kind of look at it. All right, here is that chunky boy. Very cool looking. I gotta say, you know, there's something about this. It's a great enemy mobile suit. You know, even if the stories really blur the lines of who's good and bad, when it just comes to the general weaponry and who's fighting who, the Zeons come off as the bad guy, and this just looks great. I tell you, it's like the classic design updated. Even that pink reddish kind of gives it that look of Char's Gelgoog, the custom that he had in 0079. But again, this is kind of updated for 0080, and it looks really great. So yeah, let's take a look at the articulation. Yeah, again, with a lot of the engineering going on, it's got a lot going on. So it's got the neck piece that kind of goes down into the torso and comes up, but the neck, at the top of the neck itself, has its own articulation. And yeah, let's see, does it go all the way around? Yeah, it sure does. And because of the way it works, where it has that neck articulation, you can kind of, yeah, there's even more than I thought. So not only the neck, but in the, I guess where the collarbone, I guess, looking piece down here, that actually moves also. So there's almost like 3 different areas where you get neck movement. So that allows you to get a lot of down, more down than you need, or just the right amount of down. And then also looking up, yeah, that looks up quite a bit. So let's see, if you were doing some space combat, doing some flying, it's not all the way up, but enough where it actually looks great. All right, and so for the shoulders, and we got the rotation here. Oh, wow, look at that engineering. So yeah, the shoulders go up quite a bit. We're seeing a ball joint in here underneath the shoulder pad area. There's its own hinge as well. So yeah, there's a lot of articulation there, and you know, just practically using it. I mean, he could be pointing up to the sky. It looks like he's a ballerina, actually. That was a bad joke. And he could put his arm back quite a bit. Wow, and let's look at that elbow articulation. I guess maybe due to the size of the forearm and the shoulder just being right there without it getting in the way, it has this piece piece that's curved for the elbow. So you can bring the elbow out, and there's articulation on either end, and then yeah, as you move it in, it all goes back in to be straight. So let's look at that again. Straight, moved up all the way. Very well done. Let's see. It's got 2 different types of swivel on the arm. It's got up at the bicep, what you would expect, and then down at the forearm. So a lot of options there. So with the hand, you know, there's not that other articulation we'll sometimes see with some Robot Spirits, so it's really just the hand. And even then, it's just a simple ball joint. And it's not a whole lot, but I guess there's enough give to get whatever pose you need to get. All right, let's look at the backpack here. So there's a number of thrusters, and let's see, do they move? They do. They seem to be a little tough, maybe because I've never moved them before. But yeah, there's movement there. So, and you could tell, you can even add effect parts in there, and we'll look at that here in a little bit. Yeah, so a lot going on there. This antenna piece right here comes off, and if you look closely, you can see some white stressing where I've had this fall off a shelf once or twice. They tend to tumble down. I think I have them set up pretty nice, but these things, sometimes you do the slightest movement, and yeah, they'll fall. And I think it stressed it, unfortunately. I do have another one. Yeah, it came with an extra one just in case, but I'll just keep it. Well, I was going to keep it there until I just knocked it off. See how easy it comes off? I'm looking for it. Flashlight. So, okay, now I need the glasses. All right, let's look at the abdomen here. So, this is going to be pretty interesting because I can see where we've got how this is one piece, this top part's another piece. There's not much movement on the top, just seems to have a little bit of give for whatever reason, but it really seems to be all down to the waist. So, yeah, you can move it forward. Move it forward a little bit. Move it back just some, but I gotta say, it's very limited, although it's very interesting because it's like it moves up and forward. It's just okay. I don't know what I really feel about that. But as far as, yeah, I am not going to try to turn it more than I need to. It feels like it's hitting something. Yeah, so I guess the abdomen in general is very limited, although you can do just enough movement maybe. I mean, that kind of looks like something's going on. I don't know. All right, so for the skirt armor, these move up, and it looks like, yeah, they kind of plug in there. I never had them come off. The side, man, barely any. There's like a little hinge down in there, but yeah, it doesn't move too much. And this back doesn't move at all. I mean, this is a huge thing back here, right? And it doesn't really move too much. Now, this is a space combat mobile suit, so that could kind of explain why it's got such a badonkadonk. It's got the thrusters there, and look at all these thrusters down here. I hope I'm getting that in frame. Yeah, lots of thrusters, and I don't even think I've made use of those down in there, but yeah, there's a ton there. So with that said, wow, yeah, it's limited how much you can get the legs out. Not that I really need any more than that, honestly, but just kind of interesting. It's engineered that way. But looky there. This. Oh, it has it, but it's very slight, so, and it's squeaky too. But yeah, this is where you can move the leg up or down. You move it down to get it out, but it doesn't do too much. Part of me thinks it's more for the engineering. Yeah, that looks cool too, like the way he's kind of twisting and doing that. That's a pretty cool shot, actually, for the camera. I kind of like that. You want to do a kick, looks like Char when he's kicking. Yeah, I guess it's kind of limited, but it has enough of what it needs to do. And it just could be because how unwieldy and chonky this thing is. They have to engineer it just right to get the ver anime look, but also have it be able to move enough. So, I guess I'm fine with it because, yeah, if you were going to bend the knee kind of has that curve thing we were talking about with the elbow. And, you know, that's okay. It doesn't go back any more than that, but, you know, whatever. It probably doesn't need to. And then the feet, so the feet are huge, and we can even see, wow, even more thrusters under there that you would never really get to, and even looks like you can put effect pieces in there, so that would be pretty interesting. Yeah, I mean, you can really, I mean, look at all the thrusters this thing has. Feet, under the feet, the bottom of the back armor, here. That's a lot. That's pretty cool, though, to be honest. And you know what? Again, even though... Oh, yeah, the finish with the feet. So, it's got... Okay, the toe is moving forward. Just barely. It almost looks like it was there just for the purpose of construction. But this back... Does this... Uh-oh. There goes the antenna again. It seems like this would do more, but it doesn't. So... I can't complain, though. It seems to, though, move as far as it needs to for being such a big guy. So, I mean, and I'll do some poses here in a second to see, but it seems like, you know, it's nothing bad in, let's see, that kind of, I might have bent that a little bit. Yeah, I got to be careful if I'm turning this upside down. But I can easily fix that. So, all right, let's look at accessories. All right, so what's really cool and unique about this is it comes with these thrusters. We sometimes see these with various mobile suits. One that comes in mind is the, what was that? The Jager Tetra that I recently reviewed. So it has a plug over here on the side, and this is its own little ball joint, and this just plugs in there. And then, yeah, you can move it around however you want. They both go in on either side. So very cool for some of that extra space combat goodness. These are probably the fuel canisters for that. We've also got this awesome gun, this space gun. It doesn't have much paint detail on it at all. It's really just kind of a gray standard look. Oh, look, there's some green right there. So forgive me, and there's some green right there. Maybe this is how it looked in the anime. I wasn't paying attention, but let's see. This looks like it could move down, but it can't. But let's look at that, and I'm going to try again. So look real closely. It looks like this would move out, but yeah, it doesn't. Very interesting. So they've sculpted it to where it goes in pretty deep, even along here. But yeah, it doesn't come out or anything. So interesting. But it does have a spot here for an effect part. So you can plug this in. I don't know how it should be up or down because they are different lengths, but that looks cool. And for people like me, it's got extra fragile pieces. So that antenna part on the backpack, it's got another one just in case. Also, the fin at the top, just in case. It's got another one. I like that. And then speaking of the head, we can actually take that off. Yeah, there's a little tab right above the eye. You can actually use that to turn it. It's kind of hard. You'd have to hold it. And then, yeah, looking that way, you can turn it, looking that way. I kind of like it how it's done in that manner just so you don't lose extra pieces, even more little mono eye pieces to take off and put on. But very cool. So that's all good. Also comes with a bunch of thruster pieces, which are really cool. And they look very unique and different from other thrusters. So yeah, just very cool to have it. I'm glad there's 4 of them, too, just because this guy obviously has a lot of thruster jets in use. All right, hand tree. Cool about this is this guy's got some giant hands, and they're very rubbery, which I always think is okay if it just works well, and it does, because it allows him to hold the gun correctly, because we can see with the gun how it really, the design of the gun is really made for him to really hold it and put the finger through there, and I'll show that off in a second. But that's really it for accessories, so let's look at the manual real quick. All right, here is where it talks about putting that other antenna piece, some articulation that we looked at with the head. The shoulders, that's something I did not look at, so let's look at that real quick. So yeah, they come out quite a bit, and that gives us more look at the articulation. I didn't even bother doing that. I guess it just doesn't, it does it nice and smoothly, but it's not something that just is easily done. That's probably why I missed it. I'm showing the leg articulation here, showing where you can take off the top of the head, move the eye around. Yeah, showing how you'd put the hand on the gun, the effect piece. Oh, and something else with the sniper that I guess I didn't really realize is, oh yeah, you can close it, open it, close it. Cool. Yeah, showing where you plug in those booster, the fuel rod thingies. There's that, I guess, just showing off. Maybe did it come with a sticker to put a number on it and I just missed it? The hand tree here, showing where there is the display stand piece already in his rear end. Okay, yeah, showing where to put those thruster pieces that we were looking at, those cool-looking ones. Really, they can go anywhere. You can kind of see here. But it's cool that it has those unique thrusters. It really seems to have that space mobility. I'm sure I'll do a deep dive on this particular mobile suit just to kind of get an idea of what was intended for its space capabilities. Oh, and very cool. This is something I didn't realize until looking at this, but it actually has the gun on its arm, and then you can put the effect piece. I think, yeah, it comes with the MS06S. I believe Char's custom Zaku 2 came with that effect piece, so I might try that out in a little bit. And then also just showing the regular thrusters that you can plug in as well. So kind of showing everything it can do. Yeah, it's very cool. All right, and here's a look at it. I think it's very cool. I'm using the little effect piece for the gun on the wrist. I love that look. It was a little hard to put in, but it actually went in. I was being very careful with it, but it worked. I mean, even the time frame that this effect part came out is a little different than what we're seeing with a lot of the effect parts that are coming out now. Some things aren't interchangeable, but in this case, this is, and that's actually excellent. And so on the back here, we have those thruster canisters and those thrusters plugged in, so we get a lot of that look, and that just looks fantastic. And again, I think this thing poses really well. It has some really good shelf appearance or pose appearance. Sorry, my cat was... Considering how limited the articulation looked like it was, but it's actually turning out really nice. You know, something else I wanted to show off was I love like the engineering that goes into the arm here. So when you bend in the arm, you can see where it just hides that piece in there for that double elbow we were talking about. So yeah, very nicely done. I really like the way this looks. All right, and another thing I think that's really interesting when I was looking at the arm here is this point right here. It looks like this could be made to plug something in. I don't know what. It could be something I'm missing. So if anyone knows, let me know. I think, man, that seems like it could be something, or it's just the way it was designed, the way they drew it. So, well, anyway, that is the Gelgoog Jager from 0080. Let me know what you think. Do you have this? Is there like a high grade or master grade of it? I don't know. I didn't look that up, but let me know if you have something like that in the comments below. Yeah, I think this is a really cool design. I'm curious what everyone thinks about this and the Gelgoogs in general and the different variations. I'll have to do a deep dive. But anyway, thanks for watching. If you like this, please like, subscribe, doing that giveaway. And otherwise, we'll talk later.